Okay, this video will cover the basics of point testing. We will be covering 5 of the basic meridian points on the hand. If you'll look at this drawing, we'll go over each one of the 5 basic points we'll be teaching. The first is the lymph point, and this is really the detoxification. Lymph, as we all know from our basic training, it's very important for the lymph to be open for the body to be able to properly detoxify. The second is the large intestine point, which is on the index finger. And as you notice, look at where it is right there on the joint. The large intestine point helps us determine, of course, the health of the large intestine, but it also is an absorption point. The third, we call it the allergy point here on the middle finger. And the allergy point is also the reactivity point. This is where we're doing a lot of our work to determine how the body is reacting to a certain substance or to a set of items that we decide whether or not the body how it will handle it. The fourth point is the organ point, which is on right there by the nail bed, right at that joint on the ring finger. And the organ point is more of metabolism. It's going to be one of our tests for metabolism. And then the fifth and final point is the heart point, which is on the small finger on that last joint right there. Okay, so those are the 5 basic points. Now let's move to the drawing that shows us exactly where to point test. Give you a detailed understanding of exactly where we're wanting to point test. If you look at the side of any finger, just along, see this line that goes across here? If you look at the finger along that line, you'll see a definite demarcation of skin tone and skin color, and that's what will tell you what that exact line is. The meridian lies right along that line. Then if you go into the joint you'll actually kind of start at a 90-degree angle, and then you'll end up, as you can see with the arrow here, at a 45-degree angle. And as you go into the point, first of all, you'll want to kind of palpate the knuckle, and so that you can determine exactly where the edge of the joint is. And then as you go in, you'll go in at a 45-degree angle, as shown here. And as you go in, you will just make a slight twist, and it's almost like you're moving the tissue out of the way so that you can actually access the meridian point. You'll be using about a 1 to 2 pound pressure at this point. Okay, first you're going to wet the hand, and I suggest that you use a spray bottle and just moisten the hand, and then you'll place the grounding rod into their left hand. Okay, just as we had shown you earlier on the drawing, there is a definite line of demarcation down the side of the finger, this is the line along which the meridian runs. There'll be a difference in actual color and texture on one side or the other of the meridian. You will palpate the finger to determine where the joint is. Once you determine where the joint is along the meridian line, we'll know exactly where to go in and test. We'll wet the probe, go in at a 45-degree angle, make a slight twist, and then pull away. Let's do that one more time. Go in at a 45-degree. Okay, we're going to zoom in here so that you can actually see the little grid as we point test. So as we go into the point, that's almost a perfect reading. It goes up gradually, plateaus off, and then as we remove the pressure from the point, it drops off. Let's do that one more time. Okay, and that's a perfect 50-50 reading. If we looked at the numbers, the min-max numbers, they would be 50 as the max, 50 is the minimum, and a drop of 0. Now let's give an example of a point that an inappropriate reading. Let's say that you got the point too wet. This is what it would look like. It would go up quickly and then drop off. That means you've pushed and if you'll notice the whining noise is actually even different when the point's too wet. It just is really a little squealy noise. You'll learn to actually read the noise with your ear, determine what a good point is, but that's an inappropriate reading.